Hi, I'm Sean Callery, and I'm the composer of Halo for Paramount Plus. When I was 11 years old, I saw the movie Jaws. And that movie, for me, really sort of blew the doors off my mind in terms of, wow, I didn't know music could have that kind of power, against moving images. And so I was only 11, and I didn't know the first thing about how to get into this, how to get into scoring. But I had a dream about doing this probably from that moment on. And then I got a job in Los Angeles working for a music company that was selling new products to composers. And that's when I met my mentor and friend, Mark Snow, who composed for The X-Files. He helped me get my first television show, La Femme Nikita, on the USA Network back in the 90s. And then those producers went on to make 24. And it was all about sort of building experience day by day and show by show, and that brought me to Halo. And when I was interviewed for the show in March of 2021, I had to come clean. I said, look, I don't know if this hurts me or not. I said, but I don't have a lot of experience playing the game. But they let me see the pilot and read the first couple of scripts, and I was just so struck by the immersiveness and expansiveness of the story. And I realized that this is a separate canon thread from the main vein of the game history. But you still are in the Halo universe, very much so. And I was pretty riveted. And the action is fantastic, but the characters are really why we show up. They were very clear with me that they wanted to have some new themes, and they wanted to have some new textures, and they wanted to embark on some new color and so forth, because there were some new characters and the introduction to some new worlds. As a composer, I had to figure out how we were going to do it. So the very first thing I started working on was John's theme, and that's Master Chief theme, which is sort of in the main title. And I always felt that we had to be connected very organically to the gaming experience, because and that was really the nature of a lot of conversations, was to how to honor where this project comes from. We spent a lot of time finding the right tone for the first episode. Just start a little bit quieter and then crescendo and then come down again.
That sound good, Sean?
Yeah, that's the idea.
That's the idea, okay.
But I tried to allocate at least 2 weeks of writing, and there's at least 35 to 42 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes of score per episode. So that's a meaty minute count. Every episode always had a very unique mood and flavor and sort of storyline. And I always found, when I was looking at the episode for the first time with the producers, there was always some scene that was really big, and you're like, oh God, what the hell are we going to do there? Right? If you go to episode 3, during the sequence where the clone is dissolved and Cortana is formed, is created, that's like a 3-minute sequence where no one's really speaking. And then he walks through the world with the chip out, and then he comes to those cellists and in the park, which that was actually one of my, I love that scene. That was filmed before I joined, so they were just playing something. I don't even know what they were actually playing. I actually had to reverse engineer the piece of music. I wrote the piece, and I got a sense of their tempo based on the bowing strokes. So that was another really yummy challenge. So one of the greatest scenes in the entire series for me is in episode 6. And if you go to the end of it, it is when McKee and John arrive finally at the halo, this space that no one's ever seen before. And I knew right there and then it had to be a very unique, never before, whatever sound was going to be there, it was going to have to be very unique. And I was working on palettes and things for that world, which had they're in this open meadow and it's sunny and it's beautiful. And before I even got hired on the series, in the first year of COVID, I'd come across a composer, Colin Stetson, who had a very talented composer and musician. And I forgot what piece I'd heard of him, but there was something so transcendent about the way he played and performed. And I had this idea when I got to episode 6 and I was spotting it, there were some people on the crew from Halo who were also fans of Mr. Stetson. So this sort of fun little question came up, which was, geez, I wonder, what if I just wrote him? You know, what if I just wrote him and asked if he'd be willing to play on this scene? And then we started collaborating on it even further together from that moment on. I knew I was part of the way there, and I just had this instinct that my hope anyway, that we would find this kind of really, you know, magical sort of moment, is this place where we kind of come together with both our contributions. And the Halo theme is in there too, by the way. Anyway, that was a good moment. And I hope you will enjoy it as much as I did. It's been a magical, challenging, but also magical and very rewarding journey creatively. I couldn't ask for anything more as an artist.